Going to call to order the Effingham Board of Commissioners meeting, January 2nd, 2018, and it's 5:04. I'm going to ask Ms. Jones if she would deliver an invitation for the night, and then she would lead us in the pledge of allegiance to the flag. You'd all rise for invocation pledge.
Dear Lord, we thank you for this opportunity that we have to gather together and to make decisions on behalf of the citizens of Effingham County. We take that very seriously, and we pray that you'll just bless us and help us make very wise decisions and do what's best. Lord, we pray that you'll bless the people of this county and keep us safe during any winter advisories that we have. In your name we pray. Amen.
Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We need to elect a new vice chairman as the first item of business tonight. But let me say, first of all, it's been a good year. I really appreciate this board accepting the Kevin Brock, and it's been a great pleasure working with all of you. And I think we've got a lot done. I appreciate Jamie serving as vice chairman last year, and get to run things through him and discuss things. I understand there's a rotation that you're following, and I understand that maybe Mr. Loper is next in line for the vice chairman. If no one has an objection, then we're going to take a vote, right?
Yes, sir. What you need to do is actually open the floor for nominations for the person to serve, so someone needs to nominate.
And that's my understanding, but if you're going to make a nomination, you make that publicly, right?
I'm sorry?
Make that open?
Yes.
Are you calling for a nomination?
Call for nomination.
I'll make a nomination that we nominate Commissioner Reginald Loper.
I'll say. Can I do that?
Yes, that's how you do that. And now you will need to officially write it in the ballot.
We don't have to close nominations. Nominations be closed.
Nominations are not closed.
Okay. Let's get it. Let's go. I can just get her turn the heat down. I mean, that's okay. So we don't make nominations at all. We're just saying we just vote.
You make nominations on public and then you vote by ballot, right? And I need to announce each vote by ballot. That's the way it's
So
written.
why don't we let it go and just vote if we don't have to public hearing?
That's the way it's written.
We always do it anyway.
Yep.
We had shaking up everything. Well, it's a new year will start.
I'm perfectly like voicing a vote.
It sounds like government.
Get rid of it.
Shoot this crazy.
The written ballots are as follows. Commissioner Jones, Commissioner Loper is her vote. Commissioner Floyd, Commissioner Loper is his vote. Commissioner Kiefer, Commissioner Loper, his vote. Commissioner Deloach, Commissioner Loper is his vote. And Commissioner Loper for himself. So unanimous vote for Commissioner Loper as vice chair.
Congratulations. Well, thank you.
I'm very tight. Well-run race. You're chairman of a lot of things this year. CRC chairman and vice chairman, so we look forward to working with you. Appreciate it. Okay, we'll move to our agenda. Consideration of a resolution to approve the agenda. Motion to approve the agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Roper to approve the agenda for tonight. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. We have agenda. Consideration to approve the minutes of the December 12, 2017 regular commissioners meeting. I have read those minutes. They appear to be an adequate rendering of our business transaction. Are there any conditions? Have a motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Motion Mr. Deloach, second Mr. Kiefer to approve the minutes as presented. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And they're approved. Thank everyone for coming tonight. Just remind you, if you want to make comments, come to the microphone and introduce yourself. And then also hope you understand we have our agenda items are on the website, and also in the clerk's office. Hope you had a chance to look at those. And please hold your comments to maybe a couple of 3 minutes to give anyone else an opportunity to speak if they'd like to. And with that, we'll move into our business. Consideration to approve a professional service agreement between the Effingham County Board of Commissioners and the Effingham County Chamber.
Good evening, Fiona Charlton, Purchasing Agent. The Board has an annual agreement in place with the Chamber of Commerce. The agreement requires that the Chamber performs certain services for the county and the county provides compensation for those services. The current agreement expired on December 31st, 2017. A new agreement has been drawn up which runs for 6 months to align it with the county's fiscal year and also with the Chamber's lodging and excise tax distribution agreement. A new 12-month agreement will be brought to the Board when this one expires in June. The agreement requires compensation in the amount of $2,250, and as funding has been approved in the current budget and the agreement has been reviewed and approved by the County Attorney, staff recommends alternative 1. Any questions?
Just one, they're doing Taste of Effingham there this year?
Sorry?
We're doing Taste of Effingham?
Yes.
I thought it was changed.
It is. It has been. It'll be in downtown Springfield between City Hall and Marsh.
And here it says with the, we're going to pay $22.50 and allow you to use the gym for Taste of Effingham, but that's,
Let's just continue the agreement until we can talk and review it.
okay. Very good. Any other questions or comments? Discussion or motion to approve?
Make a motion to approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion Mr. Floyd, second Mr. Deloach to approve alternative 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it carries.
Thank you.
New business. Consideration to approve to amend the memorandum of understanding between Josh Reddick and the Effingham County Board of Commissioners for funding for the new field stadium at the Clancy Morgan Complex.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As you're all aware, we signed an agreement back in November with the Josh Reddick Foundation for the donation for the new field. In that agreement, we had originally stated he had estimated around $400,000 as his initial deposit. They have made the initial deposit, it's $250,000, and we're just making an amendment to reflect that. He's working with his tax account to make sure he's maximizing his personal filings and things of that nature. So this basically reflects that. It also changes actually the name to the Josh Reddick Stadium rather than the Josh Reddick Field, because there will be the facility going around it. So just some minor changes there, but to reflect the current situation.
Any questions? Discussion? Entertain a motion for alternative number 1.
Make a motion to approve alternative number 1. Second.
Motion Mr. Kiefer, second Mr. Loper to approve alternative number 1. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it carries. Item number 2 under new business, consideration to approve the local maintenance and improvement grant, LEVIG, application and project list for fiscal year 2018.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got 2 pools of LMIG funds. You've got off-system safety funds, and you've got the regular local maintenance and improvement grant funds. The legislature did not approve off-system safety funds for 2018. However, we've got unused funds for 2016 and 2017 that were set to expire. What I'm proposing here to the board to do is to consolidate this 2016 and 2017 dollars to finish the 2016 list, including the Fort Howard roundabout. The 2017 list, we will reapply for the regular LMIG, not the off-system safety, but regular LMIG funds, which were eligible for $900,000. So we're actually going to have additional funds. Right now we have $125,000 on the 2017 list. This will increase that to $900,000 being in the regular LMIG application with a 70-30 split. So we've looked at this for the last several months on trying to, how we could complete all these different projects. And this is maximizing our dollars to the best use of the county for all these projects that need to be done. And I recommend that you approve the grant application to GDOT, which is alternative number 1.
Okay, any questions for Mr. Steve, or any discussion?
Make motion to approve order number 1. Second.
Motion Mr. Loper and second Mr. Deloach to approve alternative number 1. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it carries. Thank you. Item number 3 in new business, consideration to approve a resolution to adopt fiscal year 2017 capital improvement elements, CIE update. Christie?
Actually, I'll take it, Mr. Chairman.
Okay.
If you recall, back on October 3rd, 2017, we had our first public hearing regarding the update and the transmittal of the information to for the CIE. We now have to officially adopt a resolution for the CIE update. We have received confirmation from DCA that our submittal is sufficient. So we just need to adopt it at this time.
We've already reviewed it. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right, so we just need a motion to adopt the resolution. Any questions or discussions? Alternative 1 is the board approve a resolution to adopt the capital improvement element update. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion that we approve alternative 1.
Second.
Motion by Mrs. Jones, second by Mr. Floyd. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. And it carries. Thank you. Item number 4, on new business discussion on recognition of Joanna Wright for her service to Effingham County. Can I allow that to you, David,
I'll be glad to.
or Steve?
Originally, I had mentioned that I wanted to be sure that we did that, and then we were going to put on the agenda for some discussion. And there was some discussion back and forth about maybe the possibility of doing a new building, but because the building may or may not take place at some more quick level, it may take a while for that. Then there's been discussion back on, okay, let's do something more recent now, but one of the fields or something else. So it's back on the agenda for discussion again, so that we can try to maybe all agree on what we'd like to do about that. So we'll go ahead and do it.
So we're looking at maybe something after this one?
Yes, sir. You know, my initial recommendation was to name a new admin building. Of course, that's on our list of to-do things, but it's not current. And that's kind of fallen back. The staff is all had a lot of discussions, and they felt like something out at the park would be appropriate for now to do, and maybe we can revisit in a couple of years, but for right now we could do something. One of the recommendations is out at the playground area. That's out on the playground. It's a very nice location. We could do a large plaque, bronze plaque, something naming that area after Joanna. But it's really a discussion item on what the board would like to do. If there's other ideas, the staff kind of came back and thought that would be an appropriate location out at the playground.
I don't have a problem with that. I think she would like that.
She was instrumental in doing all the financing and funding for that sports complex, and it's a state-of-the-art facility out there. And Clarence is here, and
Before you said it, I had thought about the playground would be ideal because Joanna was one of our best supporters the last 4 or 5 years to get this project. And we probably had Jim started if she hadn't passed away. So I think that would be a great, great idea. Outstanding playground, outstanding area, and people can see it on a daily basis.
It's very visible. It'll be a visible location, so.
Also on this same line, of course, I'm all for this. I thought a lot of Joanna, but Noel Kessler got killed here a couple of years. Are we talking about we might do something for him down at the rec department? He was here for
I thought about that today.
how many years? He probably worked here. He was probably here when Joanna got here.
Yeah.
He's been working for a long time. So while we're talking about this, we need to do something for him also. I think so.
The different fields possibly have names like playgrounds, different areas of the.
I think we can put Noel on the next agenda's discussion and decide what to do for Noel. There may be other employees that we deem like maybe this is a new thing that we're going to do, and I don't know how far back, but Noel's definitely somebody that was here for a long time.
He was here for a long time, and all of us was here when he got killed and all this kind of stuff. So I think this board ought to do something on it.
It might be good to make a list of the different facilities out there, current and future, that we could use to honor those long-term standing, for example, the batting cages.
Yeah, that's good.
Where people are going to be standing around doing a lot of fellowshipping and
Yes, sir.
in the park, something that says in recognition of so many years of service, we honor this employee. We may have a half a dozen that we need to do in the next 5 to 10 years.
It's definitely the way to pay honor and respect for the time they were here with us. They did.
Absolutely. We have 3 potential locations there. I mean, just real quickly discussing it here is obviously the batting cages, the playground that we're currently discussing,
Concessions.
and then the gym,
Gym and concessions.
which is on the Phase 1A agenda out there, but something that Joanna and I had started discussion on, doing some alternative funding for a storm shelter / gym, to make that a nice facility. So there's lots of potential there, and obviously I'll follow the board's lead on this and on what the criteria might be for doing that, or years of service, or just whatever you deem appropriate. But there's 3 facilities right there that I can name off the top of my head that we could use to honor people.
We can name a road after somebody, or parking lot, or anything, just recognizing that they were employees for the county and they served the time.
Just to keep the ball rolling forward. We have this on the agenda for the discussion of this one. Can we just go ahead for the next meeting and put something on the agenda to make a proclamation and vote as what we've discussed about Joanna, and then also put Noel Kessler on for discussion, and then give us a list. And then at the next meeting, we can decide which area we would like to designate for him.
Okay, and I'm not sure what Mr. Kessler did, what his title was, but, something, we've got lots of facilities around the county. We got boat landings and, other things that we.
Did what Jimmy Parr's doing now.
Chief building.
Okay, so there's lots of different opportunities out there besides the sports complex.
So from what I hear Ms. Jones saying, we're looking at a proclamation that would include the playground for this one.
Joanna at the next meeting.
Have that for the next meeting, and then we'll have a discussion about Mr. Kessler, and we'll also maybe have a list of the boat landings and different things that we could start having a.
I'll talk to some of the employees that know Mr. Kessler and get some ideas and thoughts like we did with Joanna and go from there. But
It's not
Ms. Stephanie,
a personality or something about
Yeah.
right, and that's what I was getting at.
I'm opening my mouth again. I had thought about bringing to my rec board before I brought it to y'all about doing some field naming at St. Hill for different people who had played a big part. And we could set a precedent. Pat Howsey was director 10 years back in the late 80s, early 90s that passed with cancer. So we got many a person that we could honor, and we got many a place that we can honor them with. And we just need to go ahead and do that process. Instead of, it's been on my mind to do something at Sand Hill.
2, 3, 4, whatever, it could be housing.
Right, yeah. Because if you know anything about Sand Hill, the Oak Ridge Park, the Lakeside Park, the Meldon Park has people who name was anonymous with those parts that I was gonna bring to my rec board before I brought to y'all about starting a naming process, and this would be a great thing to start it with.
Sounds good. All right, so we
will have that ready for
you.
you.
Have direction set for the next agenda. Very good.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions, comments, discussion? Item number 5, consideration to approve clerk travel for clerk conference and training.
Any discussion? I'm still going for it. I am currently in master's certification. I've completed, this training will be 5 or 10 classes for completion. Because the classes are only held at certain times during the year, it takes 2.5 years to get it done. So hopefully, if there's an additional training, I can get it done in September of this year. If not, it'll be February 19th.
Okay. And what you completed back in January, February was
The
the
certification, yes.
So do I have a motion for alternative 1 to approve the travel costs?
Make a motion to approve.
Motion Mr. Lucas, second by Mr. Deloach to approve the travel costs for our clerk. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Motion carries. I'm going to move to our reports from administrative staff.
Real quick on that, one of those dates was probably during the meeting. Do we need to look at changing the meeting, you think?
Which date is during the meeting? Which date is during the meeting? I don't think
February
it is.
6th? Am I right?
Is that, if that's the Tuesday, then I'll be fine. Because it's
Okay, I just know, I mean, we can change days.
Because it's Jekyll, it's a lot closer, I can make it back.
Mr. Davis, again,
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Based on your feedback, I've got a printed update for you, so you guys can track the different updates as we give them to you on for 2018. So you've got it written on your desk there, administrative update. But briefly, the first one is obviously the weather update. We are closing the offices tomorrow and a delayed start for Thursday based on the winter storm and the advice of our director, our EMA director, and the National Weather Service for accumulation of snow and ice this evening. We have Mr. Edwards here, our Public Works Director. They are prepared out there with salt and sand to be used as necessary for our roadways. But the schools are closed and we're following along suit with that. And it's precautionary and probably for the safety of our employees that are non-essential, the appropriate thing to do. I will also say that's not on the update because it happened just before we came in here, that the waste services, Republic Waste Services are going to suspend service tomorrow. They're going to try and double up for the rest of the week. This will put them 2 days behind based on the holiday schedule. They're going to try and get caught back up by Saturday, but just for update reasons, I'll throw that out there that's on there, but which we don't want to have wrecks with our trash trucks out on the road, so I can appreciate that. But a couple other things, development services, we're going to move forward with consolidating of the location of the building, zoning, and engineering departments, a facility on the other side of the courthouse. So all building permits and everything, we're going to be doing that this month. This will allow us to open up some space upstairs and spread out our finance and purchasing departments and give them some space because there's a lot of overcrowding, as you're all aware, here in the administration building. Some fantastic news is the Atlas update that's on there. We're about 95% complete with the items that we were required to do the reclaiming of the mining permit. Our staff out there have been doing a tremendous amount of work, and we were expecting just 2 or 3 inches of soil to be removed, and it's been 3 to 4 feet in locations. So it's been a much larger undertaking than we previously said. They've done 230 truckloads and over 4,000 tons of debris that's been removed. They've removed all the buildings. All the concrete slabs have been broken up and buried as per allowed through EPD. So we're expecting this to be completed by the end of next week, weather barring on that, but we should be ready to do some reclaiming of the permit at that point. Simultaneously, we were doing the water testing, which came back fantastic. They did 10 samples. Only one was over the restricted limit, but it was in the limit to be able to be treated. So all the water is, clear to be treated for a actual drinking source. So and it meets those requirements along with the testing. So those are fantastic news. The next steps on Atlas are going to be the geology borings and the hydrology flushing tests. So we'll be moving forward with them. We were holding them until we got the samples back. If the samples weren't good, we weren't going to move forward and just do some other things with the property. But it looks like we are going to the next stage of looking at this as a reservoir. A couple of GDOT things going on here in transportation. This month, GDOT is letting the resurfacing of State Road 17, 10 miles of it, from State Road 30 all the way up to the city limits of Guyton. In December, the GDOT bid Ebenezer and Old Augusta roundabout. That was $2.1 million. It'll start construction in the spring and take approximately 20 months to complete. GDOT also let State Road 21 in BB Road, which is out here, right here in Springfield, in front of Harvey's, to do a medium break. It does not include a traffic light, but it'll still help with traffic flow. Atlantic Waste, Mike is here today. The transition is going well. Cans are coming in, the trucks are coming in. We're looking, depending on the weather here, the cans can start going out this week, was the plan, actually tomorrow, but I don't think that's going to happen at this point, but it might be Thursday or Friday before we start, but that's going to start. Our PR campaign, Gina's here to let you know that we're ready on IT, on our website, our Facebook, media and social media, and Atlantic's Facebook page is all prepared and ready to go to roll out. We're waiting to do it all simultaneously when the cans start to go out, so everybody's getting accurate information with accurate dates. So
This is going through our website, or this is a separate website with the PR?
the PR is press releases going out to the media outlets.
Okay.
But we're using our website, our Facebook page, their Facebook page, and all of them will be working together based on the information meeting that we had. All of those steps are in place and ready to roll out as soon as we start putting the cans out.
And so you're expecting that, like the end of this week, is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Because people are asking every day on Facebook, is
Yes,
that
ma'am.
one?
And we're still set to start the service February 19th. And Mike is here. How many trucks are in, Mike?
We got 3 on the ground in Savannah, 4th one is in transit. And then the rest coming right behind it, should be here by the middle of January.
So, and they're going to start training and actually running the routes with their trucks, with training their personnel. So that's what part of the PR is, to make sure people know that these trucks aren't going to be picking up trash until February 19th. But it takes actually hands on the ground to make sure that they're running the routes, they know where all the turnarounds are and everything is. So it's pretty seamless when we actually roll out the service. So.
Yeah, I was just going to I remember us talking about that, because I'm sure all these commissioners and districts will get phone calls, hey, the truck just missed me. So that really needs to be highlighted, they're doing practice runs.
Ran their route.
That's the other thing, they don't have to fill up those trash cans as soon as y'all set them out too.
Yeah.
And February 9 is still a go day, right?
19th, yes, sir.
19th.
Yes, sir.
I guess it won't be sitting in those cans very long. But those are two things really important, not using the cans obviously, and let them know that there are some trial runs to the issue.
And all the flyers that we put out during our workshop are all, like I said, everything is ready to go. The routes are already drawn. Maps are prepared, everything is ready to go, and I just wanted to give you that update. And we're gonna be doing some, last thing is, we're gonna be doing some further discussions on the finance director, but we did do the interviews for all the finalists on that, and we should be making a final decision here this week or the beginning of next week. So,
Any questions for Mr. Davis? Do you have any reports from my clerk?
Just a couple. In your box will be the monthly report for EOM from November of 2017. County Days at Capitol is approaching. If any of you are interested, this email will be forwarded to you for your consideration. That date for registration is February 28th of 2018.
February what?
Registration is February 28th of 18.
For what?
County Days at the Capitol. It's a new thing. ACCG.
Not Effingham Day,
Oh, no.
no, it's in January, because that was confusing.
No, this is in February.
Okay.
This is a new one.
Okay, so you already have our reservations for Sunday night for the
For everybody.
Okay.
For everybody, correct? Everybody's
Is it
going?
Sunday and Monday, or we're going to leave it?
We're going up Sunday, the event is Monday.
Right, is it all day?
Yes.
We're not doing the Monday night event. Like we normally do.
No.
You're not doing the Monday night?
They changed.
The reception is at
The reception is from 5 to 7.
5 to 7.
Okay, so are we coming back after the 7 o'clock or spending Monday night?
That's the question.
The only thing different is, I assume, is the Tuesday morning briefings.
Yeah, there's nothing on Tuesday.
That's-
No, the briefings with everything.
Yeah, I would think you would need 2 nights. I don't think, because when you get back,
You need Sunday and Monday night.
Correct.
Which is what we've always done, so nothing's different.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we were being told it was changed for one day.
Well, it is all in one day.
Yeah.
You'll go up on Sunday, it's gonna begin like 8 o'clock on Monday morning.
Have some additional meetings, possibly that Tuesday.
Well, last year we had a workshop.
Yes, last year we did that.
yeah, and we could do that because we can check out 12, 1 o'clock and get all the, get time to get it together anyway. Would y'all like that workshop day?
On Tuesday?
Yeah.
workshop.
Did it on Sunday?
I want to throw on the calendar for that.
Yeah.
How about Sunday morning?
Well, that's what I was thinking. Not, yeah, I mean, not early Sunday morning.
Mr. Chairman, a workshop for what?
And that's what I'm going to throw them together for that.
Well, I don't know, we have to look and see what items we want to discuss.
It'd
We've
be
got,
better to meet with anybody that we could, while we're there, but we can't have it while we're here, and we got to work up here.
that's a good point. Yeah, I like that. Because it is a time for communicating, connecting with different people in the community. That's okay, Mr. Lynch, I know you're interested in the workshop. We'll probably always schedule a workshop sometime in January, just to.
No, I'm talking about, you and I have had discussions about other agencies.
Right.
While we're up there, make our time.
Yeah, I mean, we might want to make I talked to Steve today about that, we might want to make a knock on the door. We're not ready to get a big update, but we might give them a little update, just say hi to them.
So is the difference that like the 8 o'clock in the morning meeting on the stairs is going to be Monday morning instead of Tuesday morning? Is that what's changed? Okay.
Everything is on Monday,
At least
everything.
teachers thrown in.
So Monday's going to be a really full day.
Monday will be a
So
full
if we want
day.
to meet with EPD, it's probably on Tuesday morning.
Yes,
On
sir.
the way out, we probably just go ahead and park
Sunday
there.
night or Tuesday morning.
I'll talk with integrated science and maybe also look at maybe some GDOT type stuff if we want to talk about some transportation issues. I know there's a couple of things out there with the traffic signal in front of the park and the roundabout at 17. So I'll explore some other opportunities with some agencies while we're up there for Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning, because Sunday night they won't be available.
Mr. Chairman, they gonna recognize Josh Reddick that day, the 22nd too, I think.
The Monday,
That's on
Monday
Monday.
morning.
I think that was John Burns.
On the assembly,
Yeah, on the stairs, when I see the stairs, probably.
might be doing it in open assembly.
They're doing it actually in the open session
Okay.
inside the house.
Nice.
And we're going to need halls where we're doing to go be a part of that. Absolutely. Okay, sounds good. Anything else?
The only other thing I have is I received a flyer for the MLK events, which begins with a breakfast. It's at the rec department this year on 119.
What's the date?
The date is the 15th.
15.
Mhm. The breakfast is at 7:30, the parade is at 10. There's a youth day service at 12, and then an evening event at 6 p.m. That's on the 15th. That's all I have.
And the youth day is at our jail, at 119.
The breakfast is 7:30.
Yes,
Where's the break?
at the rec department.
Last year was in the building next to it, back
Our
room.
background.
Not in the gym, but back room.
They've always had a youth program at 12 o'clock, but Brett usually it'd be up here, but last year it came to our building, our background.
Anything else?
That's it, sir.
Anything from the other staff that bring anything up? Mr. Fireman?
The biggest, there hadn't been a lot of change since the last update we sent out this afternoon.
I'm mistaken there for the record, please.
I just want everybody to hear what you're saying.
Oh, okay. Clint Hodges, Fire Chief, EMA Director. There hasn't been a lot of change in the actual forecast since the briefing we sent out around lunchtime today. The only change is the snow has actually shifted a little bit further into our county, so we may see a little bit higher rates, 2.5, possibly even 3 inches isolated, instead of the 1 to 2 we initially were forecast this afternoon. The accumulation amounts are the same, around 1/10 of an inch max, but I know 1/10 of an inch doesn't sound like a lot, but that's all it does take. That's all it takes to bring down a power line. So we're playing it safe. We've brought in additional fire staffing. We're working closely with the EOM, so we're ready for it.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate all you do, keeping us safe. Thank you so much.
I would trade this in for the hurricane.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mr. Chairman, we have canceled all our basketball games for tomorrow night, Thursday, on all, depending on what school does.
Okay. Any other reports? What about from the commission?
I don't have anything.
Steve, I know we've talked about this before, but our boat landings, Steel Bridge and Evermore, because I know the timeline for us to do that work is like between March and May. We're good to go.
Yes, sir. We're prepared for that. I mean, we've done previously RFPs on them, but we're going to redo them based on some of the feedback. We're going to have staff do some of the items that are on there and only bid out like the ramps themselves and things that we can't do. That goes down into the water. They have special permitting and things to do, but yeah, we're prepared for that and ready to go in the time frame because we have a window within the year that we can actually do the work. So, but we're ready to go for that. I think, what is it, March through May or something like that is when the work has to be done. So we'll have a contract for you guys to approve, hopefully.
We're just waiting on the sign clarification from EPD. How they want us.
Yeah, we're waiting on feedback from EPD on the site.
When the weather warms up and people hit the water, we're going to get called.
Yeah. Yes, sir. But we're ready and we're aware of it. We're going to make sure it gets done this year.
Okay. That's all I have.
I'm good, that's what I have.
Okay. You do have a need for hopefully a brief executive session. Have a motion for executive session, discuss personal property and criminal litigation.
Make a motion to go into executive session, discuss personal property and litigation.
Motion, Mr. Stevens, second, Mr. Roach, all in favor, say aye.
Yes, sir. We got it down.
Thank you. We'll get you the signed stuff over. You guys running tomorrow or no?
Yes.
Entertained a motion to go back into regular session.
Make a motion to go back into regular session.
First, Mr. Lowe, do you have a second?
Second.
Second, Mr. DeLoach, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And we're back in regular session. Need a motion to approve the December 12th executive session minutes.
Make a motion to approve as presented.
Second.
Mr. Lewis, second Mr. Looper to approve executive session minutes for December 12th as presented. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, no. Any carries? Any other business? Do you have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion Mr. Lewis, second Mr. Lewis to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, no. Any carries?